Hello learners, welcome to lecture 33 where we focus on one of our most impactful interventions in child health, immunization. Building on our discussions of growth, development and childhood illnesses, today's lecture highlights how vaccines have transformed child survival. Immunization protects millions of children annually against deadly diseases, forming a cornerstone of public health. We will discuss vaccine preventable diseases, immunization schedules, global and national programs, challenges, and the social implications of vaccination. Immunization is among the most effective and affordable health interventions. It prevents illnesses, disability, and death from diseases such as measles, diphtheria, tetanus, and polio. Vaccines work by stimulating the immunity without causing disease, preparing the body to fight against infections. Immunization not only protects individuals but also communities by reducing transmission and providing herd immunity. Without vaccination, the global burden of child mortality would be far higher. Why immunization is important? Immunization is vital because it significantly reduces child mortality and prevents epidemics that can devastate communities. Beyond health, vaccination contributes to economic and social development by reducing healthcare costs, enabling children to attend schools, and allowing parents to work productively. Immunization is not merely a medical intervention, it is an investment in human capital and national progress. Vaccines generate collective benefits, herd immunity, that depend on social trust, equitable access, and strong public institutions, not just individual choices. School linked campaigns and outreach through Anganwadi and primary health centers reduce missed doses, while cold chain reliability, trained vaccinators, and adverse events following immunization monitoring sustain confidence. Addressing hesitancy requires culturally attuned communication via community leaders, adolescent peer groups, and parent teacher forums that counter misinformation with transparent, empathic dialogue. Equity measures, mobile sessions for remote hamlets, flexible hours for migrant families, and disability inclusive sites ensure that the poorest children are not left behind. Finally, simple dashboards that track dropouts between doses, zero dose pockets, and school attendance gain turn immunization into a visible driver of human development and national progress. Several major childhood diseases are preventable through vaccination. These include tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, and measles, long standing killers of children. Vaccines also protect against hepatitis B, rubella, H influenza, among others. With newer vaccines, protection now extends to rotavirus, pneumococcal infections, and Japanese encephalitis. Together, these interventions safeguard children from diseases that once caused widespread morbidity, mortality, and disability. The global impact of vaccination has been extraordinary. Smallpox, once a deadly disease, was eradicated worldwide by 1980 through immunization. Polio, though still endemic in few countries, is on the verge of eradication. Measles deaths have dropped over by 80% in recent decades due to vaccination campaigns. These achievements underscore the transformative power of vaccines in public health and child survival. Building on this record, rubella vaccination has sharply reduced congenital rubella syndrome, and human papilloma virus programs are already showing declines in cervical precancer where coverage is high, proof that vaccines safeguard health across the life course. These gains are collective. Herd immunity, public trust, and equitable access turn individual decisions into population protection. System readiness, like strong surveillance, reliable cold chains, a trained workforce, and rapid, transparent AEFI response, sustains confidence and coverage. To close the gap, countries must prioritize zero dose and under immunized children through mobile sessions, school based drives, and outreach via Anganwadis and community groups. Finally, consistent community engagement that counters misinformation and centers caregivers' voices ensures that vaccination remains a cornerstone of child survival and human development. Immunization schedules are carefully designed to provide protection at the ages when children are most vulnerable. Here you can see is the National Immunization Schedule that has been designed by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. For example, BCG is given at birth, DPT and polio vaccine in infancy, and boosters later to sustain immunity. Adhering to these schedules ensures timely protection, preventing gaps where children may be exposed. Booster doses maintain immunity through childhood, ensuring long-term benefits. In India, Universal Immunization Program was launched in 1985 and is now one of the largest public health programs in the world. It provides free vaccines against multiple diseases, aiming to reach every child. The Universal Immunization Program is a critical part of child survival strategies, working alongside maternal and child health programs. Its scale demonstrates India's commitment to protecting children through immunization. The Universal Immunization Program includes a broad range of vaccines. BCG protects against tuberculosis, OPV and IPV against polio, and DPT against diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. Hepatitis B and measles rubella vaccines are also a part of the schedule. More recently, Hib, rotavirus, and pneumococcal vaccines were added to expand protection. This comprehensive approach reflects advances in vaccine service and a commitment to universal child health. Vaccines are sensitive biological products that lose effectiveness if not stored properly. The cold chain system ensures vaccines remain potent from production to administration. This involves specialized storage, transport, and monitoring equipment. Maintaining the cold chain is a logistical challenge in countries like India with vast geography and varying climates. Nevertheless, it is critical for ensuring that children receive effective protection. In practice, this means keeping most vaccines between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Using ice-lined refrigerators, deep freezers, vaccine carriers with conditioned ice packs, and continuous temperature monitoring and data loggers maintenance. Cold chain maintenance is an equity issue. Last mile reliability in rural, tribal, and informal urban settlements determines whether zero dose children are reached. Standard operating procedures twice daily temperature logs, contingency plans for power failures, and reverse logistics for heat exposed wilds. They translate policy into accountable practice. Digital stock and temperature systems paired with supportive supervision and on site problem solving reduces wastage and prevents potency loss of vaccines. Finally, community trust when teams communicate transparently about handling display VVM, that is vaccine vial monitor, which is temperature sensitive, checks at sessions and ensure that every dose administered is safe, potent and timely. Health workers are at the heart of immunization programs. They administer vaccines safely, manage records, and counsel parents about benefits and possible side effects. They track children to ensure completion of schedules and conduct follow ups for the missed doses. Their role in community engagement is especially important as they build trust and counter hesitancy. Supporting health workers strengthens immunization coverage and outcomes. Frontline workers, that is ASHA, ANM, and Anganwadi workers, act as bridges between state systems and families, translating technical guidance into culturally resonant advice and countering misinformation through trusted relationships. Program quality rises when workers have reliable cold chain tools, clear AEFI protocols, and simple digitalized due lists to find zero dose and dropout children. Regular supportive supervision, fair remuneration, and psychosocial support prevent burnout and sustains respectful child-friendly service. Equity improves when outreach sessions are timed for migrant families. Sites are disability inclusive and community leaders and adolescent peer groups are engaged to normalize completion of multi-dose schedules. Finally, using microplans and local dashboards helps teams target gaps, celebrate gains, and keep communities invested in high and timely coverage. Despite these proven benefits, vaccine hesitancy is a growing challenge worldwide. Fear of side effects, misinformation spread through social media, and certain cultural or religious beliefs contribute to reluctance. Distrust in health systems also fuels hesitancy. Addressing this requires clear communication, community dialogue, and building trust through transparent practices. Vaccine hesitancy, if unchecked, threatens progress against preventable preventable diseases carry profound social implications. They cause death and disabilities that burden families for life. Treatment costs strain households, pushing many into poverty. Children who fall ill may miss a school, affecting education and future opportunities. Preventing these diseases through immunization thus protects not just health but also social and economic stability. Measles is one of the most contagious human diseases capable of causing large outbreaks. While often dismissed as a mild rash, measles can lead to severe complications such as pneumonia, encephalitis, and blindness. Deaths are common in malnourished children. The MMR vaccine, that is measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, is highly effective in controlling measles, but gaps in coverage still allow outbreaks to occur. Polio is a viral disease that can cause lifelong paralysis. Through the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, cases have been reduced by over 99%. India was declared polio free in 2014, a landmark achievement. However, polio remains endemic in a few countries, with risks of resurgence if vaccination lapses. Continued vigilance and immunization are essential to achieve global eradication. Tuberculosis remains a global health challenge, and children are particularly vulnerable to severe forms such as miliary tuberculosis and tubercular meningitis. The BCG vaccine given at birth provides protection against these severe forms. While BCG significantly reduces mortality and complications in children, ongoing efforts to strengthen TB control complement immunization strategies. Diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus are deadly bacterial diseases once common in childhood. Diphtheria can cause throat obstruction, pertussis leads to severe coughing fits, and tetanus is a life-threatening infection. The DPT vaccine provides strong protection with boosters ensuring lasting immunity. These diseases remind us of the importance of sustained immunization, as outbreaks occur in areas where there is low coverage of vaccination. Hepatitis B is a viral infection that attacks the liver and can lead to chronic disease, cirrhosis of liver, and cancer. Transmission occurs through blood and body fluids, including mother to child transmission at birth. Vaccination at birth is highly effective in preventing infection and long-term complications, including hepatitis B in routine immunization is critical for protecting children from lifelong illnesses. Haemophilus influenza type B, a bacterial infection that causes meningitis, pneumonia, and other severe illnesses in children under 5 years of age. Without vaccination, it has a high mortality rate and leaves many survivors with neurological complications. The HIB vaccine, now widely included in immunization schedules, has dramatically reduced disease burden. Its success demonstrates the importance of introducing newer vaccines into public health programs. Rotavirus is the leading cause of severe diarrhea in young children, resulting in dehydration and death if untreated. The disease spreads rapidly, especially in settings with poor sanitation. Rotavirus vaccines significantly reduce diarrheal mortality, particularly in low-income countries. This vaccine illustrates how targeted interventions can address leading causes of child mortality in vulnerable populations. Pneumococcal infections caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae are a major cause of pneumonia, meningitis, and sepsis in children. These conditions are life-threatening and contribute significantly to under 5 mortality. The pneumococcal conjugate vaccine (PCV) protects against the most dangerous strains, reducing mortality and severe illness. Its inclusion in immunization schedules is critical for reducing child deaths worldwide. Rubella is usually mild in children, but when pregnant women are infected, it can cause congenital malformations or you can say congenital rubella syndrome in infants, leading to deafness, blindness, or heart defects. Vaccinating children with MMR vaccines protects not only them but also prevents transmission to pregnant women, thereby safeguarding future generations. This is an example how child immunization has broader social and intergenerational benefits. Despite progress, immunization programs face persistent challenges. Geographical barriers in remote and conflict affected areas limit access. Vaccine hesitancy, fueled by misinformation, undermines trust. Funding shortages and logistical difficulties in maintaining cold chains also hinder delivery. Overcoming these challenges requires coordinated action across governments, communities, and international partners. From a sociology lens, structural barriers like gender, caste, disability, migration, and conflict displacement combine to produce zero dose pockets that routine services miss. Practical fixes include micro planning with zero dose mapping, mobile or boat or ropeway clinics, and humanitarian corridors, alongside local hiring of trusted community mobilizers to reach hard to access groups. Hesitancy. It is best countered through two-way engagement. Parent forums, faith and community leaders, school platforms, transparent AEFI communications, and real-time rumor tracking in local languages. Logistics can be de-risked with solar direct drive refrigerators, remote temperature monitoring, buffer stocks, and small untied funds for last mile contingencies. Sustainable financing pairs predictable domestic budgets and pooled procurement with time bound partner support, while building in country cold chain and workforce capacity. Finally, simple district dashboards, disaggregated by gender, caste, disability, and location, with outreach timed for migrants and disability inclusive sites, turn coordination into accountable, equitable coverage. Immunization coverage often reflects social inequalities. Children in wealthier urban families are more likely to be fully immunized, while poor, rural, or marginalized groups face lower coverage. These gaps perpetuate health disparities and increase vulnerabilities to outbreaks. Inclusive strategies that prioritize disadvantaged groups are essential for achieving universal coverage and ensuring that no child is left behind. Effective communication is key to successful immunization. Building trust through health workers, using mass media campaigns to counter myths, and engaging local leaders to endorse vaccination increase acceptance. Communication strategies must be culturally sensitive and tailored to local contexts. Clear, transparent dialogue builds confidence and ensures that families make informed decisions about immunization. Schools serve as important platforms for immunization campaigns, especially for booster doses and adolescent vaccines. Teachers can provide health education to children who then influence families. School based health programs create opportunities for outreach to communities, ensuring wider coverage. Schools thus play a vital role in sustaining immunization momentum and awareness. Immunization raises ethical consideration. Every child has the right to health and protection from preventable diseases. Parents must provide informed consent supported by transparent information about benefits and risk. Public health mandates may sometimes conflict with individual autonomy, creating ethical dilemmas. Balancing rights with responsibilities is crucial to ensure immunization remains both effective and ethical. Global initiatives play a major role in strengthening immunization. The Gavi Alliance supports vaccine access in low income countries. WHO's expanded program on immunization laid the foundation for routine vaccination worldwide. The Global Polio Eradication Initiative is one of the largest public health campaigns ever undertaken. These collaborations demonstrate the power of collective action in protecting children globally. Building on this, pooled procurement and predictable financing lower prices and stabilize supplies, enabling countries to introduce newer vaccines like pneumococcal conjugates, rotavirus, and human papilloma virus at scale. Beyond money, partners provide technical assistance, cold chain upgrades, AEFI systems, and workforce training that translate policy into safe, timely doses. These alliances also strengthen social trust through transparent data, community engagement with faith and local leaders, and equity strategies targeting zero dose and under immunized children. Country ownership remains central. As economies grow, co financing and transition plans ensure sustainability without reversing gains. Finally, interoperable dashboards that track coverage by gender, caste, disability, and location turn global solidarity into accountable, inclusive outcomes for every child. The future of immunization lies in innovation and integration. New vaccines are being developed for diseases like dengue and RSV. Digital tracking systems improve monitoring and reduced missed doses. Integrating immunization with primary health care strengthens delivery and sustainability. The vision is not just to expand coverage, but also to ensure quality, equity, and resilience of immunization systems. To summarize, immunization remains one of the most effective interventions in child health, preventing millions of deaths annually. However, challenges of access, hesitancy, and inequity must be addressed for universal coverage. Strong systems, reliable logistics, and community trust are critical. Immunization is not just a medical intervention but a social commitment to protecting future generations. In conclusion, immunization represents one of the greatest achievements of modern medicine, offering children protection, survival, and the promise of a healthier future. Its impact goes far beyond disease prevention, shaping education, social stability, and economic development. As health professionals, policymakers, and advocates, our role is to ensure that every child, regardless of where they are born, has access to life saving vaccines. This is both a public health duty and a moral imperative. So, this is all in this lecture. Thank you so much for listening so attentively. And in the next lecture, number 34, I'll deal with nutrition in childhood and adolescent health. Thank you.